Yo, what is going on, everybody? I'm your boy, JLedge93. Instead of taking the it's out, I'm just doing JLedge. But anyways, I'm live for your, how do you say it, your pleasure viewings. But anyways, as you see, it's the same title as before. Now, I just finished week 14 against the Ravens. I did not record this game because I'm only playing offense only. I want y'all to know that the reason why I'm going offenses only is because I lost Tre'Davious White. So the team on defense was starting to lose interest. Devin Singletary was starting to run the ball a lot. Marshawn Lynch, I want to say, is probably going to be back either this week or week 16 at the latest. And Stephon Diggs is out until probably playoff game, either the divisional, maybe even the AFC Championship game if we get past the divisional opponent. But as you see, I'm going to stimulate going into the following week. And this game, like I said, it's not updated, so it's not a night game. It's not a Sunday night game against the Steelers. It's going to be an afternoon game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But anyways, the Bills are 13-0, and I'm going to get to two things. I'm going to get to the standings, and I'm going to get to the stats. And I'm not going to do the schedule. I'll probably show the schedule for the players that went to their new home, their new addresses. Other than that, that's the last thing I'm going to show you. But right now, as you see, I'm going to go into the NFL standings. And in the AFC North, the Browns clinched their division. Pretty much the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Steelers are pretty much out. They're pretty much eliminated from playoff contention. Excuse me. The Colts have a chance at winning their division. 2 more games, maybe. I could kind of see them finishing 10-6. The Houston's not that far behind them at 7-6. Tennessee is kind of probably pretty much out at this time, and Jacksonville's 1-12. Jacksonville's got definitely a huge rebuild ahead of them. In the AFC East, the Bills have clinched the whole division. So at this point, they had the number 1 seed. We can, at this point, me working the controls, as you see, I can lose the next 2, lose to the Jets, and come off finishing 14-2 and still have the division and be the number 1 seed. As you see, Jets fans, rejoice. You're 9-4. You have a chance of actually making the wild card. Dolphins fans doing better than you did last year at 6-7. And Patriot fans, I feel so bad for you without Tom Brady. You are at 4-9 in the bottom of the barrel, and I love saying that. That is a bittersweet taste in my mouth when I hear that. But moving on. Into the AFC West, as you see, the Chiefs are the number 1 team in their division. They're 9-4, looking like they're set to actually get their division. The Chargers are not far behind at 7-6. The Broncos are at 6-7, and the Raiders are at 6-7. On to the NFC side of things. The Packers are at 8-5. I hope that they don't slip the rest of the way and give it to the Lions. The Lions are at 7-6. The Vikings are at 5-8, and the Bears are on the bottom of the barrel because most likely Matt Nagy is not starting Nick Foles. Never gave Nick Foles a starting job. So with that being said, the Bears are at 3-10. NFC South time now. The Saints had their division pretty much locked in. 10-3 is their record. Carolina's at 6-7. Tampa Bay is at 6-7, and the Falcons are at 5-8. Moving on to the NFC East, the Cowboys still have not clinched a wild card spot. They're at 10-3. The Giants are at 7-6. The Eagles are at 6-7, and the Redskins are at 5-8. So with that being said, moving on to the NFC West, Seahawks fans, you're at 8-5. You're only a game behind the Rams. The Rams are at 7-6. Life without TG. The 49ers, my buddy and a coworker, Josh Austin. Your team is at 7-6 if you see this. Cardinal fans, you're at 3-10. Going on to moving on to the stats. The stats look like this for Josh Allen. Josh Allen's over 4,000 yards. His completion attempts are not that bad. 168 for 205 yards. for completions. Touchdowns are 56. He has 3 interceptions. It's not bad. And then rushing, as you see, Marshawn Lynch was out. So Marshawn Lynch was at 1,000 yards for being a 1,000-yard rusher. Welcome back to the Buffalo Bills, Marshawn. Devin Singletary is getting close to 1,000 yards. TJ Yeldon didn't do that bad either. And with me having weapons for Josh Allen is not running the ball as much. So with that being said, moving on to receiving. As you see, Stephon Diggs is at over 1,000 yards and 20 TDs. Justin Jefferson, the rookie out of LSU, that the team that the Bills were looking at during the draft at the NFL Combine. Justin Jefferson's over 1,000 yards with 7 TDs. Delaney Walker's at 779 yards and 9 touchdowns. John Brown's at 410 yards with 7 touchdowns. And Cole Beasley rounds it out with 295 yards and 1 TD. The rest of the way goes like this. I'm not going to mention everybody that's right there. But that being said, and defense, Tremaine Edmonds is leading the way in tackles with 93. It seems like he's running all over the field with 1 interception. Matt Milano's leading the way at 67 with 3 interceptions. I'm right behind him with 56 and 2 interceptions. And guys, I'm not gonna get in too deep with that. I always correct myself. I've done it for years. So with that being said, just ignore that. Josh Norman being behind me with 1 interception and 53 tackles. Jadeveon Clowney has been dominating this season for us. 52 tackles, but he has 16 sacks so far. That being said, Jordan Poyer has 44 tackles and 2 interceptions. Jerry Hughes is at 42 tackles and 11.5 sacks. With that being said, you're seeing the rest of the guys that are looking like they're not doing too bad on the team. With that being said, we're going to move on to the yearly awards. The yearly awards go like this. Josh Allen's leading the way in the 2019 annual awards at MVP. Coach of the year, it looks like it's going to be Sean McDermott. Adam Gase is not that far behind. With that being said, in the AFC, Josh Allen's leading the way in Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, it goes to Jadeveon Clowney at this point. Rookie of the Year, it's Justin Herbert. Marshawn Lynch is supposedly a rookie. I don't know why he is in the rookie thing when he's been in the league for a while. But that being said, Justin Jefferson is also in there. Jordan Love is in there as well. Defensive Rookie of the Year, it goes Devin Bush, Isaiah Simmons, and myself, and then the rest of the way as you see. Best quarterback is Josh Allen, Cam Newton, then Justin Herbert, then Patrick Mahomes, and then Philip Rivers. Best running back, Marshawn Lynch, being out for a handful of weeks. Joe Mixon, James Conner, and then Devin Singletary and Melvin Gordon III. At wide receiver is Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson, Marquise Hollywood Brown, Denzel Mims, Taylor Gabriel runs the top 5. At offensive line, you got 2 Buffalo Bills at offensive line, which is Travick Fredericks and Richie Incognito. With that being said, defensive line, Jadeveon Clowney, Justin Houston, Myles Garrett, Jarrett Hughes, and Olivier Vernon runs that out. At best linebacker, it's Isaiah Thomas, Isaiah Simmons, Devin Bush, Patrick, I don't know how to say his last name, Miles Jack, and Von Miller runs it out there. At DB, it's Joe Hayden, Denzel Ward, Steven Nelson, Pierre Duzere, and Marlon Humphreys runs out the top 5. At kicker, it's Steven Hauschka. I don't really care about the rest of the kickers. On the NFC side, Russell Wilson looks like he could possibly be the Offensive Player of the Year on the NFC side with Mitchell Trubisky, Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, and Aaron Rodgers. Defensive Player of the Year goes Roquan Smith, Eric Kendricks, Desmond Trufant, Jamie Collins, and Nolan Alexander. Offensive Rookie of the Year now. Kyler Murray, Miles Sanders, Dwayne Haskins Jr., Alexander Manson, and Jordan Scarlett runs that out. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Tyler Rapp, Devin White, Jeff Okadama, and I don't think that's his name. I think it's Jeffrey. Sean Murphy Bunting, and Kendall Sheffield. Best quarterback, it goes Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Tom Crybaby Brady, and Mitchell Trubisky. Best running back now goes Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Devontae Freeman, Kyron Johnson, and Saquon. At best wideout, Anthony Miller, Camp Card Mike. We all know who that is, Michael Thomas. Devin Funchess, Danny Amendola, and Antonio Brown rounds out the top 5. Offensive line, it's Zach Martin that runs that first line. Best defensive line, Dante Fowler Jr., Ndamukong Suh, Sheldon Ranks, Dean Lowry, and Aaron Donald. Best linebacker now goes to Roquan Smith right now. Jamie Collins, Eric Kendricks, Leonard Floyd, and Khalil Mack. Best DB, Desmond Trufant, Landon Collins, James Bradbury IV, Quentin Dunbar, and Quan Tarrant, I believe that's how you say his name. Best kicker is Robbie Gould that is running that at this point. So that's basically what the annual awards look like on both sides. With that being said, we are now moving on to the schedule for the players that have new homes. So with that being said, we're going to start with the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay's schedule goes like this. They went 3-0 starting off with Brady winning 34-21 against the 49ers. Close game against the Carolina Panthers in a 24-21 win. Blowing out Jameis Winston's former team 38-14. Losing to the Rams 20-14. Then losing to the Saints 31-17. Losing in a close game against Carolina. Off on week 7. Losing to the Tennessee Titans 42-24. Getting blown out by the Seahawks in Seattle 35-7. Blowing out the Cardinals 38-7. Losing to the Saints 38-17. Winning to the Falcons 24-13. Winning to the Jags in a 4-point game 24-20. Then losing to the Colts 28-17. Their last 3 games go like this. They're in Detroit week 15, home against the Texans, and then home against the Falcons. So with that being said, they could possibly make a chance at not winning the division, but almost possibly making a wild card spot. Colts fans, you guys have Philip Rivers. So with that being said, Colts fans, this is how this goes for you guys. They lost their first game against the Chargers with Philip Rivers going back to LA for a reunion. They lost 35-14. They beat Tennessee 28-0. Going on now a 3-game skid, 28-14. Losing the game against the Raiders 21-17. Losing to the Chiefs 27-24. They were off going into week 6. Week 7, they win against Houston 28-7. Losing to the Denver Broncos 30-24. At the Steelers 27-10 Pittsburgh. 22-21 Dolphins. Jacksonville winning that game against the Jacksonville Jaguars 28-7. Beating Houston 28-20. Beating Tennessee 28-23, and then coming off the win against Tom Brady 28-17. Their last final games go like this: Monday night game against the Saints, Sunday afternoon against Carolina, and then in Jacksonville to round out a divisional opponent. So with that being said, we're now going to move on to the Giants with Jameis Winston being there. With that being said, they went on a 3-game skid, going 0-3, losing to the Cowboys 24-7, losing to the Bills 56-3, losing to the Bucs 38-14, 3 straight blowouts for Jameis Winston. Then moving on to the Redskins 35-20, they win. The W goes to the Giants again, beating the Vikings 31-13, then losing to the Patriots 42-24, beating the Arizona Cardinals at 31-27, beating the Lions at 28-17, getting the dub against the Cowboys 28-21, losing to the Jets, and they're not in their division, but the rivalry that shares that building, losing to the Jets by 2 touchdowns 21-7, off week 11, going into week 12, beating the Bears by a close one by 45-38. A pretty good scoring game there. Packers, they beat the Packers 31-21. Then coming off the Monday night game, they lost to the Eagles 21-17. Their last 3 games goes like this: home to the Finns, at the Redskins, and then home to the Eagles. So with that being said, we are now going to move on to the Patriots, rounding out how their season is going to finish up. They won their first 2 games, one against Pittsburgh 27-14, raising that 6th banner at home, because that's how it was in this game. Just life without Tom Brady is going to kind of suck for these guys as they go along. With that being said, the Steelers lose against the Patriots. Patriots win 27-14. They blow out the Dolphins. Usually that game comes down to the wire in Miami, but this time Jordan Love comes away with a win, 42-10. Losing to the Jets 21-7, losing to us 56-23. Going into Washington, nearly almost escaping this game, winning 24-19, beating the Giants 42-24, losing to the Jets 27-13, losing to the Browns 23-20, losing to the Ravens 31-17. Off week 11, going into week 11 at Philly 35-32. Eagles win that game. Patriots get the L. Cowboys win in New England 35-20. The L goes to New England Patriots. New England Patriots go on another loss and losing by 14 this time, 24-10. Week 13 to Houston. Week 13 at home, they lost a 3-point game to the Kansas City Chiefs, and they lost that game 20-17. Their last few games is in Cincinnati, home against the Bills, and then home against the Dolphins. So with that being said, guys, that's it for now. Every other team basically looks pretty good, but that's it for now. I'm not going to show the Bills schedule because they were pretty much blowouts in the early going. But with that being said, that's pretty much it. And like I said, guys, stay safe out there. We all know what's going on in the world with COVID-19. Like I said, stay safe. Make sure you wash your hands, like I've been saying. Use a lot of hand sanitizer. If you're sick, go consult a doctor to find out if you have it. Make sure you get tested if you do have it. Keep your distance away from everybody because you don't know what it is going to be like for a while around the United States and across the world as well. My prayers go out to a lot of the people that have died from this horrible disease that's going on. And I'm also going to give a huge shout out to the nurses and the doctors and everybody that is working around the clock to try to keep everybody safe from this time. And I know it's going to be a rough period for everybody. For athletes that are, whether they're in the NFL, whether they're in the NBA, whether they're in hockey, in the NHL, NASCAR, all of us fans, we all hope to see you guys on TV, hopefully sooner than later. For that reason, like I said, guys, spread this message around at the very end. This is kind of another public service announcement from me to you. Like I said, just stay safe out there, everybody, and hopefully they find a way to get this treatable before it gets worse than it already does. So with that being said, guys, stay safe. I'm your boy, JLedge93, and I will see you all next time. Peace. Love.